barely a day, we're in a bit of a run of business stories. Madison's standing by, but just before that, barely a day goes by without another headline about dire business confidence. The key ANZ survey has sentiment at its lowest level since the start of the global financial crisis in 2008. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has described plummeting confidence as a huge flashing neon sign. Of course, she announced the Business Advisory Council, led by Air New Zealand CEO Chris Luxon, to help address it. The move met with approval from big business names, but how are the little, well, guys and girls faring? There are nearly 500,000 small businesses in New Zealand, nearly 100,000 of which have fewer than 5 employees. It's a hell of a fact. Our reporter Anneke Smith went to find out how they are feeling about the economic climate.
Meet Carrie Reaney, a Hawke's Bay business owner who runs a digital marketing company with 13 staff on the payroll. Her take on business confidence?
A little bit of scaremongering and potentially causing a little bit of damage and bringing down business owners that were otherwise quite confident. And when they look at their own books and the workflow that they've got going forward, it's actually quite good. And then they might start to get a little bit frightened because everybody's talking about low business confidence.
Carrie Reaney says talk about low business confidence is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and she's not buying into it.
We're still all feeling the effects of 8 years ago. It feels like it was a really short time ago, and I think everybody's really happy that things are quite buoyant now. So when those low business confidence words get bandied around, it's easy to feel the fear again.
Bex Taken, who runs Hawke's Bay event management company Planet Events, says business in the region is booming.
We haven't slowed down. We work in the hospitality sector with the temping, and we have been really consistent. It's great. I think there's a lot of confidence, certainly not lack of confidence from what we're seeing.
She says her business is emerging from the best winter it's had since starting up in 2009, so she doesn't pay attention to news about low business confidence. But further south in Dunedin, things aren't so rosy. Rhonda Walker, who owns a clothing alteration studio, believes poor business sentiment has been driven by the change of government. She says if the minimum wage, currently set at $16.50 an hour, goes up again as the government has promised, small businesses will be hit the hardest.
Someone could end up losing their job. They're talking about getting the minimum wage up to like $20 an hour. There's no way that I could cope paying someone that's not got the experience in sewing.
Tom Macaulay, owner of Dunedin's Standard Kitchen Eatery, says he won't be able to cope either.
If minimum wage went up, we run such small margins in such a small business. We run at losses during the quieter months and make a little bit of money in the bigger months, and an increase in the living wage, anything from petrol is out of control, and especially minimum wage, it would completely crush us.
Mr Macaulay puts low business confidence down to uncertainty and the potential damage even a small increase in interest rates could have on a little business like his. Cameron Baggery was the chief economist for 11 years at ANZ Bank, whose monthly business confidence survey has been in headline news recently. But he's not sure how much weight we should put on the fact that a net 50% of firms in the survey now expect the economy to deteriorate over the next year.
I'm a little bit surprised why business confidence gets so much economic airtime. Because the correlation with growth is poor. It is politically biased. So let's just park it to the side.
Cameron Baggery does note, however, that other indicators in the survey, like employment and investment intentions, reflect a slowing economy.
We're going to get some GDP numbers in the next couple of weeks, which are going to show that up to the end of the June quarter, the economy was okay. But what that ANZ survey is telling us is that growth is looking pretty anemic in the September and possibly the December quarter. So what we're seeing coming through is a lot more caution from firms in regard to their intent to invest and hire, and that's a bit of a concern.
2 weeks ago, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced she was establishing a business advisory council to build closer relationships between government and business and provide advice on key economic issues. It will be chaired by Air New Zealand Chief Executive Christopher Luxon, but the full makeup of the council is yet to be announced. Back in Dunedin, Rhonda Walker isn't confident that the council will represent small businesses.
We're just a small business. Someone like Air New Zealand or all these other bigger companies, they might, but it won't help us at all. I think we're just stuck on the back burner.
Ryan Hamilton, who owns Waikato wash and pest control business Grime Off, says small businesses need to be at the business advisory table.
They represent big organisations, but what about the 95% of small business that have, less than 5 staff? Perhaps government needs to engage and take it to the street, if you like, and really get a grassroots feeling for it rather than always going top down, but let's try a bottom-up approach.
The National Party is trying that bottom-up approach, last week launching a campaign dubbed Have Your Say, targeting small businesses in a bid to paint the government as out of touch with those who employ more than 500,000 New Zealanders. Mo te hōtaka o te ahiahi nei, ko Anneke Smith aho.